Good evening, Wareham. I call a Board of Selectmen meeting for June 1st, 2021 to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Yeah, all 5 selectmen are here. Oh, here comes Mr. Bowen now.
Okay, and for the record, Mr. Sullivan, I have asked him not to attend this evening. I need a motion to go into executive
So
session.
moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Tropiano with a second by Mr. Titlebaum to go into executive session for reason number 3, I believe. Mr. Slavin?
Yes.
Mr. Titlebaum?
Yes.
Mr. Tropiano?
Yes.
Mr. Muniz?
Yes.
Myself, yes, 500. We are now in executive session.
Madam Chairman, I'm jumping out now, as I said previously. So
You'll be leaving?
Recording in
sure.
progress.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who is Judy Weatherby? Is she in the waiting room?
Yeah, I guess so. May I have a pledge of allegiance, Mr. Slavin?
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Flag of the United States of America.
Which is one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
Thank you. Announcements, and I'm going to start with Mr. Muniz, please.
Announcements.
Announcements, my bud.
Nothing really hot in the agenda. I'm good.
Were you going to make a report on the webinar?
Is that announcements, or is that under comments, or is that, it's not really,
Wherever you want to do it.
Yeah, I'll do it later on during plays and reports or whatever, or comments.
All right, thank you.
Announcement, really.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, I do have something. Hold it. This upcoming weekend is a free fishing weekend. So anybody who wants to take the kids out and go fishing, you don't have to worry about having a license. I think it's like midnight Friday through midnight Sunday. You can get that information on Mass Wildlife's webpage if you're interested. So that's an announcement.
Thank you. Mr. Slavin?
No.
No. Mr. Titlebaum has left the meeting. Mr. Tropiano?
No, I'm good. There's
And
nothing here.
I have none. Thank you. Citizens' comments.
Got Nancy McHale's hands up.
I have to find her first. Hang on, I have to find out where. Hang on.
It's under attendees.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
can't.
Sheila.
Yeah, and Shayla Tavares. Her hands up also.
Okay, I'm having trouble seeing that.
You want her in?
Nancy McHale, yes, please. And may I, before she starts speaking, may I remind all of you, this is citizens' comment. The individual has 2 or 3 minutes to speak. We are not engaging in conversation with the speaker. Thank you. Ms. McHale?
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to let you know on Sunday, the 13th at 10:30, the Wareham Land Trust is going to be holding a trail cleanup at the Faring Hill Conservation Area. If anyone would like to join that effort to keep the trails clean and open for all to use, please go to the Wareham Land Trust website and sign up through our events page. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McHale. Do you want to repeat the time and the date again?
The date is Sunday, June 13th, and it is at 10:30 in the morning.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah. And we have Shayla Tavaz. Would you let her in, please? Good evening, Shayla. Good evening, Shayla.
Hi,
We
can you guys see me?
can't see you, but we can hear
Okay.
you.
Hi, I just wanted to give an update for Onset Kids Block. We're on to week 5 now and things are going great. We're doing a lot of fun activities and programs with the kids, and we're working very close with families to see how Onset Kids Block can supplement the existing programs moving forward for the summer. I just wanted to give everyone that update, that
Thank you
we
so
are
much.
still working with the kids.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else who would like to make a comment? I don't see any other hands. No? Okay. Then we will move on to board comments. Let me see. Alan Slavin, please.
No.
Mr. Muniz. Comments?
I'll wait until liaison reports for that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Tropiano?
Nope.
Myself? Nope. No appointments, reappointments, or interviews, so we will skip down to item 8, licenses and permits. Mr. Tropiano?
Okay, we have some applications by Paul Rose for some weekend events at the Dudley Brown Pavilion. And I would like to authorize the approval for June 12th, 2021 from 2 to 6, June 19th, between 2 and 6, June 26th, 3 to 7, and July 3rd from 2 to 6. And these are all requested by Paul Rose.
And to be held at the.
Yes, and to be held at the pavilion.
Okay. I have a motion for Mr. Tropiano for the 4 dates and the times. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Tropiano, is all the paperwork in order?
It is.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Tropiano?
I have a question on that.
Yes, sir.
Is this is a VFW asking for those dates, right, as a nonprofit?
No,
No,
Nope.
no, the license is actually being granted in the name of Paul Rose. The,
Okay.
because the VFW already holds a license, they can't get 1 days.
correct.
Okay. I guess I'm good with it. I'm trying to.
The application,
It
the
says
application,
business is a nonprofit.
right, the application documents were all corrected within the past day to reveal that it was actually Paul Rose applying for the permits.
So it's a private party or event then? All
That's-
alcohol?
That's correct.
And are the rules different for that?
Yes, the rules are different in that where they have to make sure that they segregate the liquor.
Yeah, I'm just, okay, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion by Mr. Tropiano and a second by Mr. Slavin. Hearing no further discussion, I'll call for a roll call vote. Mr. Tropiano,
Yes,
Mr. Slavin,
Yes.
Mr. Muniz,
Yes.
myself, yes, 400 for the 4 licenses. Thank you very much. We have no COVID-19 update. So we will move on to the ratifying of 3 particular individuals. 4
right, so
4 individuals.
we have William Melcher for an open laborer position at the Water Pollution Control Facility. I move we ratify that.
Motion made. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Tropiano with a second from Mr. Muniz. Roll call vote, please. Mr. Tropiano,
Yes,
Mr. Slavin,
I'm going to abstain. I was not able to review anything while I've been gone. Sorry.
thank you. Mr. Muniz,
Yes.
myself, yes, so it's 3-0 1. Thank you. Next.
All right, next, the Principal Department Assistant in Accounting to Rachel Edwards. We also made a conditional offer for a part-time library assistant. Well, we'll do them separately, I guess, huh? So let's do Rachel Edwards, Assistant in Accounting Department.
There a second to that?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Tropiano to ratify, seconded by Mr. Muniz. May I have a roll call vote, please? Mr. Tropiano,
Yes,
Mr. Slavin, abstain.
Abstain again, sorry.
Mr. Muniz,
Yes.
myself, yes, 3-0-1. Thank you. Mr.
and
Tropiano.
next, we have a conditional offer for the part-time library assistant position for Priya Tate.
And
Well, you want to do them both together? Okay, Joanna Ferguson.
Frederickson.
Oh, Frederickson, yeah, sorry.
Okay. Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Mr. Tropiano, seconded by Mr. Muniz. May I have a roll call vote, please? Mr. Tropiano,
Yes,
Mr. Slavin,
Abstain.
Mr. Muniz,
Yes.
myself, yes, 3-0-1. Thank you. We have a proclamation here, which I will read for Race Amity Day. This is an
Okay.
annual event, and I will read it into the record. A proclamation. Whereas Wareham supports the Great Seal of the United States of America, which bears the inscription E pluribus unum, which translates from Latin as out of many, one, and whereas the greatest asset of the town of Wareham is its people, and whereas citizens and the town of Wareham is comprised of multicultural, multi-ethnic, and multiracial citizens, and whereas friendship, collegiality, civility, respect, and kindness are commonly shared ideals of the collected citizenry of the town of Wareham, and whereas the National Center for Race Amity has invited communities across the United States of America to join in introspection and reflection on the beauty and richness of the diverse peoples of this great nation, while reaching out with a spirit of amity toward one another annually on the second Sunday in June. And whereas House 2745, Chapter 163 of the Acts of 2015 of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts establishes the second Sunday in June annually as Race Amity Day. Now therefore be it resolved, the Wareham Board of Selectmen do hereby proclaim the second Sunday in June to be Race Amity Day. We urge all the citizens of the town of Wareham to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. In witnesses thereof, we, the Wareham Board of Selectmen, have hereto set our hands and caused the official seal of the town of Wareham to be affixed this first day of June, 2021. Wareham Board of Selectmen, Judith Whiteside, Chairman, Patrick G. Tropiano, Clerk, James M. Muniz, Alan H. Slavin, Peter W. S. Titlebaum, Esquire. I think we used to do that on the steps, am I right, of Town Hall,
Yes.
Mr. Slavin? Yeah.
Yes,
Guess
been a
we won't
while.
be doing that. Yeah.
okay.
And next,
Discussion and possible vote. Okay, so this next one, in accordance with MGL Chapter 35, Section 28B, I move we appoint Alan Slavin for the Council Advisory Board, Plymouth County Advisory Board.
motion made. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Motion made by Mr. Tropiano, second by Mr. Muniz. May I have a roll call vote, please? Mr. Tropiano,
Yes,
Mr. Slavin,
yes,
Mr. Muniz,
Yes.
myself, yes, 4-0-0. Thank you very much, Mr. Slavin. Add that to your bag of tricks.
next I have another set of not abatements, but what are we calling this? It says
Opt-out
abatement
and
recommendations, but we know
Opt-out
that's
and
not what
reduction
it is.
fees.
All right. From Mr. Menard, and I move that we approve it in the amount of $7,778.75.
Is there a second?
second,
Motion made by Mr. Tropiano, seconded by Mr. Slavin. May I have a roll call vote, please? Mr. Tropiano,
Yes,
Mr. Slavin,
yes,
Mr. Muniz,
Yes.
myself, yes, 4-0-0. We will not be discussing any further articles. We have on the agenda next week discussing the citizens petition for Miss Ekstrom.
Okay.
And do any of you have any other town business not reasonably anticipated?
Nope.
Alan?
No.
Okay, I do, actually.
Really?
Yeah, really,
Snuck that one in on us, didn't she?
I did. Okay. I have received an open law complaint from attorney Meg Sheehan. Her complaint is exactly the same as one recently made by Lisa Morales regarding the board's policy of not recognizing actual and threatened litigants during public comment. The reason for this policy is obvious. Since we must reply, I am asking for the board's permission to send Attorney Sheehan a copy of the Attorney General's response to the Morales complaint, in which that complaint was dismissed and found invalid. For those who want to know what the Attorney General said, let me read this to you. This is a letter dated May 21st, 2021. It's a response to the open meeting law complaint. Following our review, we resolved this matter by informal action in accordance with 940 CMR 29-.0207, parentheses 2, parentheses A, and find that the board did not violate the open meeting law. In reaching this determination, we reviewed the open meeting law complaint, the response, the request for further review, and a video recording of the board's March 23rd meeting during the citizens' comments portion of the board's March 23rd meeting. The chair refused to allow the complainant to speak while allowing other members of the public to speak. The open meeting law states that, quote, "No person shall address a meeting of a public body without permission of the chair, and all persons shall, at the request of the chair, be silent," end quote. General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F. The open meeting law therefore gives discretion to the chair of a public body to determine who may speak or otherwise participate in a meeting. See Open Meeting Law 2017-154, Open Meeting Law 20-14, Section 23, Open Meeting Law 2013-64, Open Meeting Law 2012-59. Because the open meeting law gives the chair of a public body discretion over who may speak or otherwise participate at a meeting, we find no violation with respect to this allegation. Although public comment is within the chair's discretion, we encourage public bodies to allow for as much public participation as time and circumstances permit. And it is signed by the Assistant Attorney General. I now need from you a vote authorizing me to respond to the
So
open
moved.
meeting law from Attorney Meg Sheehan.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Tropiano and seconded by Mr. Slavin. May I have a roll call vote, please? Mr. Tropiano,
Yes.
Mr. Slavin,
Yes.
Mr. Muniz,
We're gonna have any discussion on this or?
sure, I'll allow discussion on it.
Yeah, I mean, we made a motion and a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
So just wanted understood that it's the chairman's discretion. There is no there's no written policy stating otherwise who may or may not speak. Am I correct?
I'm only responding to the letter that I have read into the record.
Okay. I'm good.
Thank you. I'll call for the roll call vote again. Mr. Tropiano,
Yes.
Mr. Slavin,
Yes.
and this is to authorize me to respond. Mr. Muniz,
Yes,
myself, yes. 400. The letter will go out. Thank you. Back to the agenda, please.
Okay, so we have the town administrator's report, which we're not having. Liaison initiative reports.
Mr. Slavin.
For a change, there'll be nothing this week. I'll start
Thank
up
you.
next week.
Okay, Mr. Muniz, I know you have something.
Yeah, it's, I attended the webinar on solar versus forests. It was informative. It's probably the more technical one that I've seen, has some substance to it. And I think it was Cape Cod Compact? I could look it up.
Cape Cod Commission.
One of the groups, huh?
Cape Cod Commission.
Okay, and I didn't see Mr. Slavin there. That's a surprise because I can never get away from the guy. So it was very good. It was informative and alternative sighting and such and whatnot. And they're set up a little different, I guess, than Serpent is. Are they
Yes.
equivalent? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how they operate as a body, and the influence that they have as a planning group, more so than Serpent does on the individual towns. So I did that one, and I don't know if you were going to touch on it. I reviewed the one that you had said in the link.
Yep.
That was okay. I'll let you touch on that. And beyond that, I think I'm gonna we do have an affordable housing trust meeting because it's on the second Tuesday, and that just is like bam. So as long as we have a quorum, and I think Alan said they're coming back Thursday, so and we also we'll be addressing possible removal of a member from that for lack of participation. And because we need 4 for a quorum, we only have 5 members. So that can often lead to a big problem. It's just the way it was written. I have the same look there, Mrs. Whiteside. When I read it and I saw it and I read it again and again. So that's all. Thank you.
A question for you, Mr. Muniz. Thank you. Is that something that you or that committee should address by bringing it back to the fall town meeting and changing the quorum requirement? Or is that a state requirement?
We're working on that.
Thank you.
It was just something that was done when they put the committee together,
Mhm.
probably with reason. So we will be presenting something for the fall.
Thank you. Mr. Slavin, you said nothing, right?
Surprise, yes.
Surprise, yes. Mr. Tropiano?
Okay, so the committee for the police station went and walked the property at 20 at Minot Ave, where they proposed 26 acres are for the police station, one of the proposed sites. It was interesting because I didn't get to go with them because it didn't work out, so I had to go myself. I pretty much almost got lost in there. I'm glad I went straight because I knew eventually I was going to come out the other side, but it's a pretty big piece of property and it's quite a little, it's like walk through, but it's a high and dry, beautiful piece of property. So I don't know. We haven't discussed it yet. I imagine we will at our next meeting, but I just wanted you to know they went through it. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Muniz touched on a webinar or a Zoom meeting that I tried to attend at the recommendation of one of our citizens who sent us the link. And I went to the link thinking that I was going to be looking at a solar siting versus forests webinar. And I ended up watching a pretty interesting webinar or Zoom meeting about the Attorney General's office and what powers it has and what it is trying to do right now to overcome some of the, they would say, and I would say, damages done by the prior administration in terms of weakening the EPA regulations. It was pretty interesting. It wasn't what I was looking for, but I thought it was pretty interesting. So I called Mr. Muniz and I said, Mr. Muniz, I followed the link and this is what I got. So we had a nice long chat about that. Anyway, I appreciated the citizens sending the link, but I didn't get the right one. And I think that's it. We have a consent agenda, or do we have some minutes?
Yeah, we have a little bit. We have a bill for Richard Bowen. I'd like to have us approve in payment. Now, it's interesting enough. So we signed his contract and we sign the warrants every month, but apparently we're now signing the sheet with when he sends in his payment, which is a little bizarre because we've already, I mean, it's the same all the time. He sent it in, but whatever. So I move we approve the amount, $15,650.
Is there a second? Motion made and seconded?
Second,
Thank you. Motion made by Mr. Tropiano, seconded by Mr. Slavin. Mr. Tropiano, roll call, please.
Yes.
Mr. Slavin,
yes.
Mr. Muniz,
Yes.
myself, yes, 400. Thank you.
Then I have the minutes of May 18th, 2021. Interesting enough, the only one who wasn't here was Peter, so we don't have to worry about that. I move we approve the minutes as presented.
Second,
Motion made by Tropiano, seconded by Slavin. Any further discussion? May I call for a roll call, please? Mr. Tropiano,
Yes.
Mr. Slavin,
yes.
Mr. Muniz,
Yes.
myself, yes,
That'll
400.
only leave one other duty, I believe.
It is one other duty.
Motion to adjourn,
Second.
Roll call, please. Mr. Tropiano to adjourn.
Yes.
Mr. Slavin,
yes.
Mr. Muniz,
Yes.
myself, yes. Good night, Wareham. Thank you very much. And we will see you next week.